Welcome back to the Alternative Highest podcast. I'm Dustin Gahn. This is the #1 podcast in Southwestern Ontario. Facts. Today, I have one of my close friends with me. I don't even know where to start on our relationship. It has been through the train wrecky stage of drugs and alcohol and partying, through the sober up days, to the
now trying to pursue
profound
life.
Conversations.
Pursue life totally different, man. Instead of just strink our faces off to, hey man, how are you lately?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this is Alex Lander.
Yeah.
He is a wonderful, amazing human being.
Oh, well, thank you, bro.
Where you've brought me to in life, just through our conversations, our Sunday mornings, it blows my mind where we can go.
Dude,
where we've been and where we are.
Yeah. Dude, every time that I see, to me, I've never been a giant social media guy, but I swear every time that I see pictures that other people have tagged us in from the years of us partying together and just how hilarious it is from that to now, it feels like it was years ago. I mean, it was, but it feels almost like a lifetime. Like it was a totally, we were two completely different people.
100%.
But the weird thing is, dude, is I think the reason you and I became so close is because we even could recognize that all the way back then.
Yeah.
Whether we understood it or not, kind of thing. You know
and that's the thing, did we understand it?
No, I don't think so, dude. If anything, I was like, he likes to party as much as I do. Let's do that. All right.
It's a good time. I won't stay in the past.
No,
because there's no point in going there. But it was wild.
Dude, yeah. I mean, literally, dude, if I went through just the stupid things that I've done over the years, it just almost sounds like a movie. Only because of everything seemed like it would be, if it was going to be fun for even a moment, it seemed worth it at the time.
100%.
Bro, I've fallen off a McDonald's roof. I've literally gotten locked in a trunk for hours on end while everyone went into my house to party because I wanted to hotbox the trunk. I've been rode a zebra, been bitten by a llama, the dumbest things, man. It feels so long ago, man.
And the wild thing is, even before that, before we had met, you were a rock star.
I was literally, bro,
university.
The thing that makes me laugh is when I think about music back then, dude, is it feels like it was a lifetime ago, but music was always one of my first loves, dude. It was the one thing that was something I could express who I was, and I never fit in a box. So playing in a band made total sense to me. And almost it gave me kind of a get out of jail free card in every train wrecky thing I did, because I'm well, if more people find out about that, that's kind of publicity. It kind of works out. And it was hilarious how we had so much potential to do so many great things, but literally, basically, I'll take a lot of the responsibility for I drove the band into the ground because I was such a man.
Yeah.
I was such a train wreck, but in the moment, dude, I was living like a rock star long before or ever achieving rock star status. I don't have anything to show but memories, but it was fun.
And what took you on that show?
Dude, as funny as it sounds, was so both my parents were musicians. My dad played trumpet. My mom played flute. And my mom, to this day, is one of the best musicians I know. You can just see her when she's playing. It's part of her. Mm-hmm. It's in her spirit. And dude, I feel I got that from her. And it was hilarious because my parents were always exposing me to music, but in the weirdest forms. Because Bro, like my parents, you know, are both very religious. They're both very passionate Christians. And growing up in the church, I was around music all the time because my parents were playing in a worship band and stuff and always up there. And from the moment I started playing drums as a kid, they were like, you're up here now. So like, dude, I started playing in front of people before I could really play. And like, I started playing in front of people at like 7 years old, 8 years old.
And that's wild.
And like just kept, you know, getting better and better. And by the time I was a teenager, my parents were just always like, hey, you're going to do this. And then I would just be doing what I wanted to do the whole time. The funny thing was, dude, was that everything that ever came out of it started from the same thing. Like they started where I felt like literally, dude, I started out with 3 of my best friends, including my brother, deciding we were going to be like a Christian band, but not really. And that was the idea. It was like, we were all Christians, we all had our beliefs, but like, not gonna lie, dude, most Christian music makes me sick. Because like, it's the most ridiculous crap. Like, and the only reason I say that is like, to me, if you're gonna make music like that, shouldn't it not be for everyone? Like, isn't that kind of the whole point? And like, I could never relate to any of it. It always just came across so corny and ridiculous. And like, my idols in music were like punk rockers, man. People that were just like, let's just smash shit and have the most fun. And that doesn't fit in a church, bro.
It fits your line, it fits your lip, and it fits your. And I think I know the answer to this, but like, you are extremely comfortable speaking in groups. Do you think that comes from that 7-year-old getting thrown in front of the?
No, dude. You know what I honestly, dude? So as ridiculous as this sounds, dude, I can credit, and like, it took years for me to sort of figure this out, but there's like literally a defining moment in my life that changed me 100%. So I know how this sounds, and this sounds kind of ridiculous, but when I was 7 years old, I might have been like 6. I was pretty young, man. I remember the exact place we lived in, and at the time, man, my parents, like, they didn't have a lot of money when I was real young, and so we were living in like a lower income housing project kind of deal, and one of the neighbor kids that I always kind of looked up to, he was like a good 10 years older than me and stuff, and I always was a bigger kid, so like I would play with all of them, do whatever. Well, I was at his house, and he pulled a knife on me and tried to literally like knife to my neck and tried to basically take what I had. Kind of rob me, and like, I didn't understand that as a kid, which sounds hilarious, dude. Growing up in Chatham, people are like, oh, that wouldn't happen, but it did. And the odd part was like, when I told my parents, eventually, they like obviously wanted to do everything they could to make things better, but dude, that like almost made me so self-conscious and like worried that I couldn't handle myself. And my parents put me into karate, man. And like, it was funny, but like, being in karate, I learned really quickly how like everything was just sort of my decision. If I wanted to be a victim, I was a victim. If I didn't want to be, I didn't have to be. And like, dude, I kind of took that and ran sort of the wrong way with it, to where I was like, you know what, man? All these people, I'm gonna do
indestructible.
like, I'm gonna learn along the way, but I'm gonna be me. And like, dude, I remember and it wasn't an overnight thing, dude. It took probably 6 months of going to karate for me to like, dude, I used to as a kid, after having a knife to my throat, like, I didn't understand it, but like, I used to literally have like many panic attacks as a kid. It was so bad that like, literally, dude, I used to carry Tums, like, you know, those little bullshit things. I used to keep them in a sock, like in a bag in my sock. And if I didn't, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like the most insane anxiety, which, you know, to this day, now when I look back at it, I'm like, no shit, bud. Like,
it's funny because we speak a lot. Like, you are like so focused and mental. It doesn't. The way you're able to navigate through things is just absolutely wild to me, and we talk about it often.
Well, you know what it kind of gets me, dude, is that like, both my parents come from kind of a broken background. Like my dad, native, taken away from his family as a kid, went through the foster system, didn't have dude had nobody. And so seeing his struggles and stuff, and he was always open enough with me to explain things to me when I was a kid. And my mom came from an abusive family as well. So my mom was also very open. The thing as a kid, both my parents kind of went to therapy, and my dad actually ended up getting a psychology degree. And being around things, my parents always would talk about feelings, and I hate that shit. Really do. I hate talking about feelings and stuff, and I did for so long. I hated it because I just felt like I couldn't be real about things. But dude, listening to them and understanding that, being in tune with your own feelings, it's one of the things that my dad taught me that stuck with me, man, was in every situation you can be mad, you can flip out, you can be scared by it, you can be anything. But if you look at it from a distance, whatever you're going through, circumstance or whatever, it's just a moment. So however you interpret that moment is how your life's going to be. Yeah. So if you choose that moment to be terrified, then you're going to be scared of everything. If you choose that moment to just be a moment and walk past it, then that's what it is. So and dude,
karate.
Yeah, sort of, but in the most train wrecky way I did that, dude. I didn't really come into my own, dude, until I had kids.
Yeah.
That's where I really realized all the shit I was running from, all the ridiculousness of the way I lived my life, to where I thought I was doing it because I just loved it.
Yeah.
But it's and don't get me wrong, dude. When I look back on certain times of partying and things like that, they were so fun.
Yeah.
But I don't really miss any of that.
Not one moment. The stories are fun to tell.
Yeah, because they just make me laugh.
After I can go nap.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. And so many people do, when I tell them some of the things that I've done, and then they talk to me and they're like, you? I'm like, yeah, me, bro. It makes me laugh at, even as a tattoo artist, when I think about things I covered my body with over the years. Dude, I literally, on my shoulder, have a tattoo that I used to literally sort of live by as a motto that says drink, fight, because it was the only 3 things I thought I was good at. Do you know how stupid that is? But dude, I literally live my life that way. Drink, fight, that's it. I was I'm good at those things. Everything else just works with it. And dude, I literally, and it sounds so train wrecky, but I literally lived that way.
I followed.
Yeah, bro, I know. That's how we met. You know what I mean? Dude, yeah.
It's so funny because if you put all of this that we just talked about.
Yeah, that's a lot at one time. But.
And then you rewind even further. You've got a university degree.
Yeah.
It's something that it makes sense now. It makes sense from childhood. It didn't make sense in that decade of life, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny, man. When people find out that I went to school to become a pastor, and people are like, what? Yeah. Half the time. And this is the thing that's crazy about it, dude, is that, if I'm really honest about it, part of it was because, at first, it was sort of okay, I don't know what to really do with my life, and I f*** my life up so much. And this is something my parents always sort of wanted me to do. And growing up in the church, everyone always told me, man, God has something for you where you're going to be something that, I don't know what it is, but you're going to be something big, there's something for you. And dude, I always was you know what, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And it turned out that, no, not really.
It didn't, but I mean, all these years later, now, we're
well, and it's funny,
we've been
dude,
talking
because
a lot of religion lately.
Well, and you know why, dude, is because to me, dude, I am not a religious person at all. I don't go to church, and it's not because I'm in any way against church. I'm literally, dude, against the way that so many churches end up, and so many people, so the thing that's crazy is the way that Jesus wanted church to be. The idea of it is you never saw Jesus go to a church and just punish people. go to a church and point fingers at people. The only times in the Bible when I really, as a kid, remember all the greatest Jesus moments was him like flipping tables from the taxpayers, like being like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
All these things. But dude, all I had in my childhood in church, even though I was playing in a worship team because my parents wanted me to, and I was doing all these things, I was literally known as the kid that was the up. Like, get that kid off the stage, get that kid out of church. There hasn't been a single church that I went to, other than one, dude, in Detroit, that my parents sent me to, man, that we went to all the time.
Yeah.
That ever didn't somewhat push me out because of my beliefs, and most of them were because I questioned things.
Yeah.
Like, I never was like, okay, well, you say that Jesus said that, but where? Show me.
Yeah.
And then everyone would think I'm just being a jerk, but I literally was curious because I'm like, all right, well, if that's the case, point it out. But if you can't point it out, then shut the fuck up. Like, and like, my honest belief, dude, is like, I believe 100% in Jesus, dude. I'm a Christian, 110%. But I also, bro, believe in what Jesus would have wanted you to be, not trying to pretend for everyone around you. Like, my walk with Jesus and my belief and my relationship with God is my own. Like, and this may sound biblically odd because in the Bible, it talks a lot about the man being the head of their household. I don't make my kids go to church. My kids go to a Catholic school. And I literally, dude, if there's one thing that I have a lot of problem with, it's the Catholic Church. But I felt like it was a better situation to send my kids there than a public school at the time. And my wife grew up Catholic, and she doesn't have a lot of the same beliefs I do. But in the same way that I feel that everyone has to come to their own spiritual enlightening, I guess, themselves and figure out it for themselves. I would never push my kids or my wife to that either, because it didn't work for me.
Yeah. And
like, even to this day, dude, I pray every day. Man, my whole outlook on life is a lot different than most people, because I look at the fact of like all of the train wrecking things I've done some pretty horrific things that, you know, a lot of people would be almost ashamed to admit. Where, like, to me, I think it's just hilarious because it's like, well, I did it, so why would you in any way hide it?
Yeah.
And why in any way would you, ignore that? You did that for a reason. And so, like, to me, I feel like I let God kind of guide me, dude. And, like, I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with one day if I stand before God and everything plays out like I think it's gonna. And then he's like,
wrong.
Yeah, he's like, hey, bro, what are you doing? Well, I'm already there, so I can't fight it anymore. But to me, dude, this is where I don't fit necessarily in a standard church or in any religion, really, is that, dude, I believe each one of us was given something. Like, you are who you are because God wanted you to be that way. Now, that includes, like, to me, the first time that anyone says anything to me, and this is so funny to me as a parent, because I see it in both my children, that they got it from me, and I can see it when it happens. They don't vocalize it like I used to, but like when I tell my kids to do something, they both have the same look on their face, like, you. And like, dude, they're the sweetest kids in the world and would never say that. But dude, when I was a kid, that was the first thing that I thought. Anyone would tell me to do something, if you couldn't tell me an actual real reason for why I was supposed to do it, why?
Yeah.
And like, that's not being a dick. It was literally like, okay, explain to me what the reasoning is.
That makes sense.
Dude, why would I have, from the moment I was born, have that in me?
I feel like
that part of me, dude, has guided me into all the train wrecking things that I've done, but it's gotten me to where I am now.
I was going to say that you've navigated quite well through it all.
Well, dude,
it was from a friend looking in, fairly new, but I would still say,
This is the thing that's hilarious, dude, is when you think about it. We started partying together like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all.
It's
been a while, bro.
And
so many avenues in our lives have kind of intersected, man.
You came into it very heavily for me when my first accident, but after I sobered up.
Yeah.
And then I got burned. And that time of my life, I was fighting to not kill myself, and I was fighting to not fall off the wagon.
Yeah, dude.
And I found that coming to see you, and I don't think it was just the ink therapy. I think it was just the knowledge that you would drop on me, or the way that you would let me explain to you, and then you could give me your personal outtake as a friend, like, and whether it was, you never had a bad thing to say to me. It's always been extremely helpful. When you talk about you're meant to go through all these, and you, like, 100%, like, you are a healer of sort.
Well, you know what it is, dude, is that, like, I think about the fact of, like, through my whole life, dude, I've had little moments of people that changed my life by one action. Just one. Like, literally, dude, as funny as this sounds, is that the reason I first got into tattooing, the only teacher that didn't hate my guts, like, so I had been, you know, every single school I went to, I was always in trouble, all the time. And, like, my parents sent me to the Christian school. And I had one teacher, Gil Cleland, he was the art teacher. Dude, he was also my soccer teacher. That guy changed me, dude, by one thing. He never judged me.
Yeah.
And then one day, dude, I was sitting in detention, because I had detention every day. Yeah. I always did shit, like, didn't care.
Yeah.
But it was funny, because we always had detention in art studios and stuff. So I was sitting there the one day, and I was bored. And I just started grabbing paint off the desk and started painting a tattoo on my arm. And he, like, walked up to me and started laughing. He was like, "You know what, dude? You should be a tattoo artist. This is pretty good."
Yeah.
And, like, that one comment was like, "Dad can do that." And, like, dude, literally, that was, like, the one thing that started as, like, a little light bulb in my brain, where it was like, okay, I'll do that at some point.
Yeah.
Took a long time, but eventually I got there, man. And it's like, those little moments to me, dude, are really the moments that matter. Is like being able to just see that, hey, in that moment, he could have been like, "Hey, don't do that. Hey, you're supposed to be in detention," all of that stuff. But in that moment, he showed me compassion. He was the only person that did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, I had some of the most train wrecky stuff happen to me at that, like, in my teenage years, dude, like, insane things. And, like, it, no matter what, dude, it made me pretty hard and resentful towards a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he was somebody that got through right away. And I'm like, dude, it wasn't until, literally, dude, it wasn't until I had kids that I really started to sit back and look at my life and all the things I did and all the decisions I made. And, like, how many things I squandered, or how many things that happened to me molded me to where I was, that, like, really got me to that. And that's why, like, you know, when I saw as a friend, dude, you struggling, and I knew, because I knew the same way that it was for me, that, like, there's friends who are going to always support you, and there's friends who are always going to be there. But are there friends who want to hear the worst parts of you? Are there friends who are willing to just sit there and listen to the struggle? Nobody wants to hear from another person, "Dude, I'm thinking about blowing my brains out, man." Because you're like, what do I say?
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, I can honestly tell you, I've had at least 30 or 40 people in my lifetime tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, dude, I've lost friends to suicide and stuff. So to me, all those moments are the moments that matter. Is like, no matter how ridiculous, it's like, kind of like I was saying earlier about, you know, in the moment, you got that choice of what you're going to do and how you're going to use that moment. And, like, dude, I realized when I wanted to sober up and when I wanted to be the best example I could be for my kids, to take every moment like that with a grain of salt And if you have the opportunity to speak something good into someone, even if it makes you look stupid, even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it ruins the situation, it's still probably worth it to do that. And like, I literally live my whole life that way.
Yeah.
And like, I can't say it always works out the best. When you shoot from the hip and see what happens. It don't always work out.
You are the healer, man. Like, it is
a
relationship I could not and would not.
Oh, bro, I would. I would.
My spirit out.
Dude, I hear you. Dude, there's something about it where you and I, like, even when I look back, like, it's funny because every year on New Year's, I get this stupid picture that pops up from when we lived on O'Neill. But there's a picture of me and you, arms around each other, just slamming bottles of whiskey on one knee for some reason. There's a whole party going on, and we're just for some reason doing that. And in that moment, I'm like, dude, we're in the same boat now. Same thing, but we're doing it in the most healthy way we can.
It's the coolest thing because it's not like we both just did something. Like, we both, I think you led the way with the fitness. Like, when I saw you went.
Dude, I literally, well, you know what it was, dude, was for me, it was like, so I have an immunity to anesthesia, okay? So going for surgery, anything like that, I can't go under. It's kind of a scary situation. And honestly, around the same time that my son was born, it was a little after my son was born, both my parents had heart attacks. My dad had a triple bypass. And like, my mom had minor heart issues and she's fine now from that, but that scared the shit out of me because I was like, what are you gonna do? And it's funny, when I was younger, I was always in shape, played sports, played in a band, was sweating it out on stage all the time. But when I stopped playing in a band, I just kept drinking and acting the same way as I did. And just eating terrible, doing all these things. And my heaviest, I was just under 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And like, bro, it wasn't until my daughter was born where I was like, there's no chance in hell that I am gonna ever go back to this. Because I want to make sure I live to see my grandkids. I want to make sure, if I have any, I want to make sure that I get to live a full life with my kids. I want to do everything I can to give them the things I didn't. And the first thing was, get your fat ass up and fix that.
Yeah. And
like, dude, as stupid as this sounds, man, and like, it makes me laugh because like, dude, at the time, I was working every morning. I had to start at like 5 in the morning at my job. And when I got up, I was sitting there the one day, and I'm like every guy does, get up in the morning and just taking a piss, whatever, and you look at Instagram real quick. And I see this post from Mark Wahlberg, and he's working out at 3:30 in the morning, and he was like, it's 4 a.m. What are you doing right now? As soon as I saw that, I was like, if Marky Mark can do this shit? Like, instantly, dude, I don't know why, whenever I see Mark Wahlberg, I instantly think of Marky Mark and just old school hilariousness, parachute pants and all, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And like, the thing that got me was, I was like, you know what, dude, the same attitude that I had towards like playing in a punk band, drinking like a lunatic, doing all those things and taking shit to an extreme, I was like, F it. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. every day, 7 days a week. I'm gonna work out like crazy. And like, dude, I did.
You did. And you posted it, and it was,
dude, that was the thing, I hate social media a lot because it's like two things. It's either one of the most fakest places on earth.
Changed my life for me.
Well, yeah.
You doing it.
Well, and that's the thing that's so funny, dude, is that like so many people had said something like that to me, and I'm like, dude, I'm just working out. I'm just trying to better myself. And that was the whole thing. It's still that way to me.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can tell anybody anything, it's that you're worth your effort. If you want something in your life, don't around. Just go after it. And if you fail, that's the point. Go on to the next one.
It's so. The proof is in the.
Oh, like, dude. I don't know what it is, but I somehow found a way to do that in anything I try. And it's not because I'm gifted. It's because I'm willing to go full dumbass and just
put it out there.
Yeah. And like, if it's humiliating, who cares?
So, as one of your friends, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll get it put out there. Like, you and Sam both have great things going on socially. Like, I love when you guys post your videos. Will there ever be more of the
dude,
Alex and Sam?
You know, as funny as this sounds, dude.
I know you say you hate social media.
No, dude, you know what it is?
I know the answer. I'm trying to see.
Dude, for me, to be honest with you, I'm eventually going to be putting out a podcast. And honestly, what my kind of goal is, dude, and it's even one of the reasons why I support the shit out of you doing this, dude. There are not enough people who are willing to be ballsy and say, hey, man, I made a lot of mistakes, but we all did. Here's how we can do better. I'm not a fitness guru. I'm not a I'm in no way, don't model your life after me, bud. That's not the move. That's not in any way, I'm not one of those idiots. Like, not at all.
It's not the move.
No,
it's really great, man.
Bro,
I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you, dude. I'm fucking proud of you, but I
got tears coming down.
Like, what I would say, dude, is like, if I want to inspire people, dude, to get out of their flesh. Like, it doesn't matter what you want to do. Like, your life is so short. People always talk about how, I'm going to do it one day, or one day I wish I could do that. But that one day never comes. And the amount of friends and family I've lost where I saw they had so much potential, man, and they just wasted it. And it just left. And it's sad and disheartening. But the bigger thing is by you not doing what you should have done, how many people missed out on what they were supposed to do because they didn't get the ripple effect of you deciding to do it? Like, I know how corny that sounds.
No.
But it's the truth, man.
So true.
Like, dude, there's been so many people that have touched my life in the smallest way. And, like, it's funny how life brings people back around, dude.
Yeah.
And, like, man, like, to me, the best thing about life is that you have nonstop opportunities. The only person that stops your opportunity is you.
Yeah.
And, like, if you're not willing to do it, and you're not willing to put the work in or embarrass yourself or whatever, then you can't complain one day when things didn't work out. Yeah.
100%.
But, like, yeah, dude, trust me, I would love, like, I've tried to tell my wife many times that we should do a podcast together just because, dude, there is not a single person on this planet that gets me like she does. And, like, dude, this may sound like the most embarrassing thing ever, but, dude, the way that I knew and this sounds corny, dude, because at the time when I met my wife, I was literally going through a divorce from a train-wrecking marriage I should have never been in because I liked to drink like a buffoon and did a lot of drugs. I should have never got married, but literally, dude, I did. I just did dumb shit, and it is what it is. But when I met my wife, when I met Sam, I literally, dude, was so pissed off at life and was just drinking like an idiot. And, like, because at the time, dude, that was literally when my band fell apart. We all kind of decided to just say, F it, we've done this for too long. Let's just say F it. We literally, dude, had like almost a full falling out with our band. I mean, other than me and Adam still stayed tight, but even my own brother and I had hard times and stuff. And then, like, me and Nick, we still don't talk. I love you, Nick. If you see this, I love you, buddy. But, like, we all kind of fell apart. And so I was just angry, drinking like a idiot. Literally, dude, I met Sam on a random morning, drinking out on my buddy Mitch's boat at like 9 a.m. on like a Wednesday, bro. Like, not anything intelligent. We literally, at one point, dude, I used to be the night manager at Home Depot. And I hired all of my up friends to work for me, and we all did stupid things all day. But as soon as we were done work, we literally went to Mitch's, got his boat, went to Mitchell's Bay, and just got drunk all day. And literally, bro, we're out on his boat, And it was all guys. And we're like, this is ridiculous. We need some women out here. So Mitch makes a call to his friend Lisa, and Sam ends up coming out. And there's the two of them with us. Well, we're all just having drinks, having a good time. We're obviously all drunk already, and Sam and Lisa are pretty sober. And we stopped to like beach the boat to go get more beer. And I get out and I was like, I really gotta pee. And she's like, I gotta pee too. So she gets out, and as we're standing there, I feel the water's getting warm. I was like, are you peeing on me right now? And she was like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna pee on you too. And I literally shotgunned 2 beers and peed on her. And literally, dude, as messed up as this sounds, I knew at that fucking moment, dude, that like I had met my match, bro. I knew at that fucking moment that I was like, this girl's not like all the other ones, man. Like, which I know sounds. There was no R. Kelly situation. It wasn't greasy, wasting the water, pissing on people. And, you know, to be completely honest, Mitch jumped in the piss circle too. But still, it was like, and still to this day, we laugh all the time about the fact that like we literally peed on each other within like the first hour of knowing each other. But like, dude,
you guys have one of the happiest marriages there is. The pee was effective.
Bro, you know what the thing is? It's funny, dude, is I feel like for me, I don't deserve it, dude. And like, I think that's the thing. Is like, people say to me all the time, like, and I've had friends that say to me, like, because I try my absolute best to give my wife and my kids everything I didn't have. And it doesn't matter how hard it can be. Like during COVID, man, when people were really struggling and everyone was having a terrible time, I was working between tattooing and working to provide a way better life for my family. I was working like 90 hours a week sometimes. And like just doing what I could so that they could be happy. And you know, the funny thing is, man, is that no matter how train wrecky I ever got, some of the dumbest shit, Sam never gave up on me. Yeah. Ever. Like, bro, when we first got together, like we lived together a month after meeting each other. Like, I literally quit my job and moved to London because she was moving to London and was like, screw it. Yeah. You got nothing else going on? Yeah. Like, literally, that's how I was. It was like, I got nothing else going on. And
I mean, it big well for you.
Yeah, but dude, the time I was there, not so much, bro. Like, I drank like a buffoon. Like, I was just an idiot. But I mean, it worked out now.
It worked out well. The 2 beautiful kids.
Oh, like, dude, yeah.
You got the $1 million family. When I drove by you a couple weeks ago, and you walking the dog, and just the family, man, I had a tear roll down. I was like, this is that shit. This is what we've been talking about. Like, this is all, like, that's
truly is, dude. Like, you know, the funny thing is I've been thinking a lot about it lately, dude, because like, I feel like in so many people's lives, there's always seasons to your life, man. Mm-hmm. And I've heard so many people say that shit. And in so many self-help books, and yeah, I've read some self-help books, definitely. Because I've always been curious on that. And like, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are dog shit. Yep. But, dude, the one thing where they talk about seasons being in your life, I've had so many seasons that I chased after thinking it was going to bring me happiness or bring me something. Like, that's what music was to me. And like, the funny thing is I still enjoy music the exact same as I did, but I look at like what I did with it, and I look at like how me trying to like squeeze something out of it killed it. And like, the funny thing is when I look back at it now, bro, all I was looking for is what I have now. All I was looking for was a family and people that supported me no matter what, and that had my back no matter what, but to where they could see the worth in me without me having to do something for it. Yeah. And like, the thing that was, yeah, bro, like, you know, and the thing that's so funny is that like, people don't quite understand, but so there's something about like, when you're on stage, even in a small venue, okay, like when you're on stage and there's like, say 100 people cheering you on, or 200 people or whatever, cheering on something you're doing, no matter how buffoon-like it is. Like, we literally, dude, had a song that we wrote specifically where I would do a drum solo in the middle of it while holding a pitcher of beer in my teeth, and I would slam the pitcher of beer while we were playing. like hands-free, bro, doing a drum solo, just slamming a pitcher of beer because I did it one time drunk, and everyone thought it was the greatest thing ever, that became something I did every show. And it's like, when you think back of like how many pitchers of beer I drank, dude, just to hear like, you're awesome!
Yeah.
That's what I was chasing.
This is wild.
Like, it had nothing at that point, it had nothing to do with music.
No.
Nothing. It was just, I get to party, people like me.
Yeah, I get it.
So up, bro.
Dude.
Like, dude, there are so many, like, one of my favorite hilarious memories, dude, of that shit was like, so it's closed now, which is sad, but the Chubby Pickle that used to be in Windsor, our band, and when I say our band, I mean me and Adam, single-handedly ruined one of the things that was the greatest thing for every band that played there. But they used to give unlimited draft beer to every band that played. Adam and I, we were supposed to headline that night. We decided to drink all day. We convinced our friend's band to then be the headliner so that we could just continue to party. So we played earlier. Between the two of us, we drank 17 pitchers of beer before we went on stage, and we tapped 2 kegs basically between just me and him. Which I know sounds insane, but it was at the point, dude, where the same gig, dude, there was a guy, it was a homeless guy out front. It was a young kid, and like I felt bad that he was outside freezing. So I was like, he's with us, he's in the band, he's with us. And I brought him inside, and I gave him a couple beers and stuff, and then he was like, I'll do anything to stay inside here and have some beers. And I was like, well, what can you do, bud? And he told us he could do backflips. So Adam and I proceeded to feed him a pitcher of beer every time he did a backflip until he ate shit and almost KO'd himself, dude. And like, we, in that train wreckiness, get cut off, and then him and I start auctioning our clothes off on stage for beer. To where, when the show ended, bro, we're both standing in our boxers, and this is in the middle of winter, bro. My brother Nick took off and left us there. And shit. They're like, you guys can figure out how to get back to Chatham. We just had no clothes, just standing outside like idiots.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, that whole thing was just to chase.
We haven't even knocked a layer off here.
No.
And we've hit that time. But, Alex, I love you. I appreciate you. We got to do this again.
Dude,
maybe even do it like more often than not, like guys do. Because it just flowed so well today. I was in tears. I was laughing. Man, it just.
Dude, I'd be happy to do it, man. Like,
we've always had that connection. We've talked about it 100 times.
Oh yeah.
And we've tried it even, but I think, I think as I try to work around this podcast, into this podcast, there's some things I want to do, and it's like, it's just more fun to do when it's a multiple person.
Oh, dude, I hear you, man.
So
and like, I think it's one of those things too, when you have somebody like you and I can have these conversations, because we both know, no matter what we say to each other, neither one of us are ever going to judge each other for.
No, there's zero judgment.
And like, bro, if there's one thing I could leave this with, is like, I hope and pray, dude, that everybody finds their duddy, that everybody finds their buddy that they can be real with and just be honest, no matter what, dude. Like, to me, dude, there's nothing more ridiculously healing or better than, Sunday mornings just chilling out together, doing a tattoo, having a joint, and just chilling, man.
I love you.
Yeah, love you too,
I love
bro.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.